Greetings from beyond the screen, and we're back. At the time of recording this, I had made a tweet where I said that at this point I feel like I'm going to become a drama channel. And this has to do with the fact that I had spoken about that I can't seem to go a week without one of my fellow VTubers deciding to be retarded. And once again, I have not went a week without that being proven true. And the VTuber responsible for this is Kyrio, because he decided to make a tweet where he decided to announce to the world that we're not hating men enough. He got the expected backlash for it due to the fact that people have grown tired of misandry and have finally taken a stand against it. I'll be going through a series of tweets that he made on his account, all involving men, just to talk about it before we react to the video you see behind me. This video in question is a clip taken from one of his streams that he posted on his channel. And I hate the fact I'm doing a reaction. I had said to myself I wouldn't be like other VTubers and do reaction content, but here we find ourselves, because why make a well-constructed video dissecting what he has to say when we can hear it from the horse's mouth and see what I have to say in real time. Now to start us off, we'll be going from one of his tweets from 2024 and then working our way to the present. On June 16, 2024, he said, "Why is it so difficult for men to be emotionally available and honest with their feelings? Gently, why bear that weight?" April 5th, 2025, "Manipulative men are the worst people, sad emoji. Anyway, live on Twitch, deleting all my socials and crying if you don't come now, black heart." I'm immediately thinking about the Marvel character. Then we move on to June 2nd, 2025. "I get angry whenever women say they don't listen to the opinions of men, because I started not listening to men's opinions first. I wonder if he listens to himself, he would qualify as a man, wouldn't he?" I know in the video, because I decided to watch it, is that he said he got assumed to be a woman. I don't know how anyone would assume it's a woman. He acts like too much of a bitch boy for me to make that sort of assumption. Then, on August 7th, 2025, he says the male VTuber sphere suffers because there are men in it. Black heart emoji. He certainly seems to love the black heart emoji. Perhaps it's suggestive of something. On September 30th, 2025, he said, "Men can be so handsome. They definitely can. I wish they were good people. If I have to follow this to its logical conclusion, I would then have to ask, does Kyrio think he's a good person? Because he's a man, and from what I've seen him post of himself, since he's one of those VTubers that can't keep their identity hidden and have to attention whore, he does seem traditionally attractive. So he would qualify as being a handsome man. And he wished they were good people. So, are you not a good person, Kyrio? Are you trying to tell us something?" Then we find ourselves in the present where it all started. On January 18th, 2026, he stated, "We're not hating men enough." And then a few days later, he made another tweet. "In 2026, I will continue to rage bait men more." And he done that weird thing people do with symbols where he made a heart. I don't do that sort of thing. I find it absolutely not worth my time. But now we make our way to the video. Let's see how well this goes.
A haircut.
Hold on, wait. Before anything, yes, it's on 1.5 speed, because I don't want to be here for longer than I need to be.
You guys are so keen and observant. Thank you for noticing. Okay. well, what can I say? I feel like I think enough people are here. I think everybody who's here is here. Yeah, the cancellation on Twitter. So I woke up this morning and I didn't have a community note yet, but I went on my business. Of course, I saw all of the replies and the quote retweets, but to be honest, I wasn't paying too much attention. I had many other important things that I had to tend to, mostly.
I often find it so disingenuous for them to say, "I wasn't paying attention. I was just going about my business." The problem I have with this sort of statement is that you did care enough. You cared enough to make this response. You cared enough to look at the reactions, at the comments, etc. You can just say you care enough. The mere fact that you're here talking about it tells me the exact opposite of what you're saying. Oh, I had more important things to do. Clearly, you didn't because you're here making a video about it. You could have completely ignored this, not even made any sort of like moment in your stream where you decided to address this. You could have just left it entirely. But you decided that it was worth your attention, worth your notice, and you decided to give it your attention and talk to us about it. Don't act as if, oh, you're so important and you're oh so busy that you just couldn't be bothered. You were bothered.
Commission based and replying to specific artists and sending wires to folks. But then, I don't know, after a while I noticed just an uptick of people responding and an uptick of people kind of going crazy. And then the community note kind of appeared. And of course, alongside that, there were a bunch of death threats and really slur heavy stuff, both on the comments and the quote retweets and in my messages as well. But again, it's part of.
And I will say this, I went through the comments, I went through the quote retweets. On my side, I couldn't actually find anything that could constitute as death threat or slurs. I just didn't see that. I saw people calling him a pick me. I saw people saying, I hope she calls you so you can watch, bro. I definitely saw people being aggressive towards him, and rightly so. However, I haven't seen anything towards the extent that he's talking about. Slurs, I really don't give so much of a fuck about. I say them all the time. I use all of the worst slurs imaginable. So if he's like slur heavy stuff, I'm like, yeah, do I really care? Death threats, I might care, but it's over the internet, so I don't actually. I'm just here to put on like the moral performance about, oh my god, he got a death threat. That's so horrible. It's evil. Oh, what should we do? I'm sorry, to be honest. If you receive a death threat on the internet, don't take it seriously. The only time you should is if people actually decide to show up at your house. I know of a YouTuber who does ASMR, and she calls herself Southern ASMR, and she found herself, unfortunately, during 2020, on the receiving end of the BLM anarchy, with people taking issue with her for some weird reason. She's the nicest person out of content creators I watch, and she was willing to defend herself. And the thing is, in an instance like that, where someone with an actual audience can mobilize those people against you, any death threat you receive in that instance should be taken seriously. But if it's something that you just received on Twitter, in your DMs, etc., I'm sorry, I couldn't be bothered enough to care.
The job, so I just, I obviously just have to shrug those off. I think it's just very inherently ridiculous. Of course, the tweet was engagement bait to some degree. I mean, like, we're literally content creators, you know what I mean? Like, we stream and shit. Why the fuck wouldn't we like tweet and want the tweet to go somewhat viral? It's part of our jobs. We do this full time.
So you see, this is another issue I have. It's that obviously later on in the video, because I did decide to watch this ahead of time because I think I would have been a bit more volatile if I didn't watch this ahead of time, because my reactions would have been a bit more out there. This is me being tame, believe it or not. And the thing is this, he is right in saying that we're content creators and we would like for any content that we make to go viral, whether it's a tweet, a short, a YouTube video, etc. We want that attention. It's part of what we do. The issue with wanting to get attention is, how do you go about it? Are you making a genuine effort to be seen and noticed by people? Or are you taking the tried and true method of basically playing into what's commonplace and hoping that it pays off for you? Because if we look at the impressions, and I'm going to bring up the screenshot, if we look at the impressions on all of the tweets that he made about degrading men, he got a lot of attention for it. For example, the one that he made this year, he got 1.4 million impressions on it, 40k likes, 720 retweets, and 629 replies. That was a fairly good day for him. I can't even imagine getting 100 likes on any of my posts, let alone even 10 replies, because I'm still small and starting out. But the thing is this. You've made multiple tweets of this nature. Even ones where you simply just say, I hate men. You've done this before. You know the kind of reaction you're going to garner. So you can't really be surprised by the fact that people took issue with what you had to say, especially after the whole Bow incident that happened last year, where she said, oh no, if a man who's a content creator is bigger than you and then pays attention to you, don't walk, run. Ultimately, it became common knowledge that Bao, like most female content creators, hates their male audience and only acts like she likes them due to the fact that they financially support her. Take away the financial support and she'd let every single man that ever watched her know that she just hates them. But you're a man. You know that it's difficult in this space for men to be able to find footing for themselves, and you found footing given the fact that you're Hex Haywire from Ninja Sanji. You've had the platform, and you think, given the fact that you graduated from there, you now find yourself as a so-called indie VTuber, that you'd actually know how to better garner attention and not simply be a dime a dozen man hater. But c'est la vie.
Full-time content creator, and of course we tweet things that we think people would like it's very ridiculous that people would see it otherwise. And you know, a lot of the quote retweets and the messages and the replies, it's a big self-report. You know, like 95% of all of the people who are quote retweeting and replying to me on that tweet are men, you know, who are wishing death upon me or just using slurs as a gotcha, or, you know, literally up in my DMs calling me chink and all of these fucking awful things. And, you know, like it's awful. And I feel for people who basically,
gosh, I'm gonna not make it through this video. So here's the problem. Saying it's a gotcha. Here's the problem. Saying that 95% of the people responding to you are men. You are targeting men. Who else is going to respond? Aliens from outer space? You're saying we're not hating men enough. Then men reply to you. Men respond. And you go in like, oh my gosh, how dare these men get offended? How dare they decide to interact with me? Did they not know they was just supposed to look at my tweet and move on? I honestly just detest people like this. They are the bane of my existence. Because he's acting like a woman, so I can definitely see why people assume that he has a cunt. You're looking for attention. You get attention, but not the kind that you're looking for. And then it's like, oh, how dare these people even interact with me? How dare you even make your tweet? That would be my question to you.
have to operate under this guise of just, it's hard. I'm very grateful, first of all, that you guys are very understanding and very sweet, but I want to say first and foremost that I care about your safety. The truth is that it takes a lot of thick skin to go through something like this. It does. And I've been dealing with this since I was...
You say thick skin, and it's going to say it's been dealing with this since he's 14. Now, for example, here's my thing. I had an interaction where I had someone come into my Twitch stream and decide to say I'm dumb and a whole lot of other things. And you know what I did? I blocked them and I carried on. At no point in my stream did I decide to have a full-on moment where I decide to address people saying mean things about me. My goodness, I say words about myself. And so like, oh, you need to have a thick skin. Yes, you should have a thick skin as a content creator. However, it seems like you don't, Kyrio. It seems that you need to actually vent about this, talk about it in order for you to feel better about yourself.
14. You know, this isn't my first rodeo, and I'm very much used to this, but I don't want you guys to go into this, especially when you don't understand what you might be getting yourself into. I really appreciate it, but you don't have to defend me because I worry about you guys, and I know that you care, and I know that you care for me, and I care for you as well. So I really am proud of you guys for being mature and not going out of your way to defend yourself, because you don't know, you're putting yourself in between me and the person who's mocking me, but you don't know how dangerous they could be. You know what I mean? And you don't know just like what bad intentions they have. Like, to give you an idea, my mother received 2 phone calls today from unknown numbers, and I told her not to pick up unknown number calls, and she hasn't been receiving phone calls from unknown numbers. So I don't know, like, my mom is more out there, but you know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of people you're dealing with in a way, where you don't know how they, like, you don't know the levels they'll go to harass you or to hurt you. So I want.
And I have to address this. The allegation of his mom having received calls from the people that took issue with his tweet. The unfortunate thing is this, that over the years, we've seen that multiple people that find themselves in controversy will make claims that this and that happened. However, we never see evidence. There is no way for him to provide us with evidence, so we would have to just believe what he says. But at this point in time, he's trying to paint himself in a positive light. One of the ways you can do that is by playing it off as if you've been victimized. In this case, it would be his mother, and by association, due to their relationship, he would now be victimized by an extension. And so, for me personally, I don't believe this claim because, all right, how exactly did they get your mom's number? How would they know who your mother is? Have you featured a picture of her on social media? Is she on your streams? Like, how exactly would they have access to a number, and how would they even know who your mother is? Those 2 calls from unknown numbers could have been from anybody, not simply the people that took issue with you. How would you know? That would be my question at the end of the day.
You to be aware of this. Like, it's fine if it's something that happens to me. I'm used to it. I'm also a guy, and I can defend myself very well. I also live in, in places where I just don't think anybody would really come see me or anything like that. But you have to be very careful, and I don't want you to go out of your way trying to defend me or anything like that. It is jarring to see, and honestly, I wish I didn't say that I have to be numb to these kinds of things, because it does take a bit of my to be numb to these kinds of things. You also have to be numb to the good emotions in a way, but it's part of the job, and it's a job that I took on, and it's a responsibility that I took on, and you guys are my community, and
We are not even halfway. We're not even at 8 minutes, and I've stopped like how many times? Yeah, once again, I have a problem. You know that this comes with the territory. You know that this is the kind of thing you're going to encounter. And as I've mentioned before, he was an agency VTuber. That's his Hex Haywire under a new persona. And so, you know, this is is the kind of thing you're going to encounter as a VTuber. And so my thing would be, don't give it attention. Just move on. Because you're going to have people that took issue with you and are going to decide to react to your video. I'm one of those people. And so you've now given me an opportunity to make content off of you because you decided that no, even though you have thick skin, even though this comes with the territory of being a VTuber, you're going to address this on live stream. And you're giving everyone who's your critique right now an opportunity to dunk on you. You did not think this through, did you?
Thereby impart a little bit of my responsibility, not your personal lives, but I just want to give this fair warning. You know what I mean? So just be careful and watch out for your own mental, because these people are vicious and they will go to lengths unknown to harass people. It was a very stupid ass tweet, to be fair with you, and to be honest, I've been laughing my ass off about it. The raw honest truth of this tweet is, if I had tweeted we're not hating women enough, would I have received this amount of backlash? Absolutely fucking not, to be honest. Like, if someone saw that, they'd be like, oh my god, like, that's silly, or they do their own research, but nobody would have cared. Like, it just goes to show that the people who are responding to this are incredibly sensitive loser incels who are like either underaged or just completely brain dead and have just no ability to critically think or do their own research.
No ability to critically think. Oh my gosh. I still have the same reaction that I had earlier. My thing is this. If you made the tweet where you say we're not hating women enough, the reaction would have been so much worse for you. So much worse. Which is why you never made that tweet. And the thing is, I went through his account to look at what he says about women. Oh my gosh, he glazes them. If I've ever seen simpery, this dude would be the textbook definition. Even with the handful of tweets he has, he would be the textbook definition of a simp. And so, he would never make that tweet. And if he did, the backlash would have been so much worse. I hate women. I detest them. But you won't see me tweeting about it. I don't think there's a need for it. I hate a lot of people. I don't think I need to go and make a tweet about it. I know what lies in my heart, a lot of hatred, a lot of disgust. But I'm not going to go and put it out there for everyone to see. If you ask me about it, I'll certainly tell you. But this, what he did when he said we're not hating men enough, he was being an attention whore. He was looking for attention and he got it. The only problem was, it wasn't the kind of attention he was looking for. He was looking to be praised, admired, and instead he got admonished.
So if I had said, we're not hitting women enough, I would have not received half the backlash. But the problem with this statement is it's like very untrue. Like, women have it very much historically and observably harder than men in many departments, right? I'm not saying that men have it easy or life is easy. Life is hard for everybody usually, right? Like, especially, except if you're like, you've been born with a silver spoon or something. But life is hard. But for women, it's even harder.
Woo! I hate arguments like this. I'm not saying that women have it harder, but they do have it harder. Yes, everyone suffers and goes through something, but women go through so much more. Like, please think for a moment before you speak. You're making the claim that you're not saying that women have it harder than men. Men go through their own things. Everyone goes through something, except if you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, but women have it harder. And then you add historically. Yes, historically, women have had it harder, allegedly. The gender that didn't need to go and fight on the front lines when a war broke out. Let's see, the gender that wasn't expected to be eligible for the draft and still doesn't need to be eligible for the draft has it so much harder. We could also talk about the fact that there's so many laws and policies that advantage women over men, whether it's within the workplace, college, etc. We even literally had an incident now, this month, where Kingsman, a college student, was participating in a $40,000 tournament, and he asked one of his teammates to change. And unfortunately, due to the fact that he was in a team with 3 women, he got dogpiled on them and kicked from the tournament for simply asking them to change because they weren't doing well. I really need to understand for myself, where do women have it harder? It seems they make it harder for everyone else, especially men. And we've seen that it's harder for men. And so when you make this asinine argument and you say women have it harder historically, I don't give a fuck. It's in the past. It's like you're saying, oh no, black people were slaves historically, and so that's why we should have lower expectation for them and not hold them to the same standard we hold other people. I'm a proud person, my goodness. I try to hold non-whites to a higher standard because they can aspire to it. Meanwhile, it's like, no, we shouldn't hold anyone to any kind of standard if they've been disadvantaged historically. I'm sorry. Either you are held to a standard or you're not. And if you're not held to a standard for whichever reason you can give me, I don't care. If you cannot meet a standard, you are not worth considering. It's as simple as that. And if you are going to make, as I said before, the asinine argument that women have it harder, I will disprove your claim. I will show you that you're wrong.
And if I had said that, we're not hitting women enough, I guarantee that I wouldn't have received half or a fourth as much backlash. But it's these sensitive loser in...
And he's going to say insults. And the reason why I'm stopping because I want to address, if he had made the tweet, the backlash would have been worse. We've seen the backlash get worse for people whenever they decide to admonish women. We've seen, even in the right-wing space, where we believe, actually I believe, that women shouldn't have the right to vote, that they should be removed from any position of influence in society. I stand by that. I believe in it. I will fight for it. And even on my side, you will have people who are allegedly agreeing with me go, maybe we should be nicer to women. Maybe we shouldn't be so mean to them. Even on my side, you have people like this. It's like, oh no, maybe we're being too mean. No, we're not being mean enough. And so you have Kyrio say, oh no, not mean enough, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, dude. If you made the tweet, you would have received so much more backlash. And then you decide to call the people that criticize you insults. And I find it ridiculous that you say this, especially when you make lovely little tweets like, people on this side are getting way too comfy with being unkind. Aside from the baby language, mind you, which I utterly despise, you decide to say that people are getting way too comfortable with being unkind, yet here you are doing exactly that. You'd expect for someone who's, one, been a victim of sexual assault, because this is something that I came across when I was looking up Kyrio. Found out that obviously he was Hicks Haywire on that with that previous VTuber's persona. It was alleged that he was a victim of sexual assault. And then there was another video I came across where he was talking about the fact that someone he knew told him to his face that he's not going to succeed as a solo VTuber, as an indie VTuber, etc. And I have to say this, you were dealt such awful hands in life. And rather than deciding to rise above it and be a better person, you instead decided, no, you're going to be a pathetic parasite, leeching off the kindness of other people who want to support you. Because if I were any of your audience members, I would say it isn't worth supporting you. You are a horrible person trying to play it off as if you have some fiber of decency to you. You don't. Because a decent person would not act the way you do. They would not be making the video that you've made. Clip, stream, whatever, I honestly don't care. You could be better. You choose not to be. And so that's the reason why I take even more issue with you. Because you're trying to act as if you're this kind, decent human being when you're the furthest thing from it. I could have easily brought up the allegations where people are like, oh, he has a mainly teen audience and he makes a lot of sexual content and he even liked their pictures. I decided to go and research and stuff myself. And out of the 4 accounts whose pictures he liked, I saw that only out of those 4, 2 of them actually mentioned their age and they were all legal. I could mention that, but I don't use it as, oh my god, look, this dude is so bad. No. What I want to focus on is what you're actually saying here. Because I've done my research on you, and everything just simply says to me, you are not a decent person. Yes, people can make all kinds of allegations against you, and I decided to go and look into them. And it turns out, well, the allegations are false. But what I can clearly see, with all the evidence I have in front of me, that you are not a good person. You are not the kind of person that you're acting to be. And I find it completely disingenuous.
Cells that are, have been thriving in the dusty recesses of Twitter that are very pissed about it. And I absolutely am not backing down. Like, they can all suck my dick, to be honest with you. And again, I'm not trying to say that all men are bad people, but somehow it's always a man who's pissed at me. Never.
Oh my god. We are not going to get through this. We are not going to get through this video. It's like... it's always a man. Dusty man, blah, 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 blah. It's like... It's not all men, but it's always men. It's like, oh no, not all women are cheaters, but it's always a woman that cheats. You are making a statement that, 1, you can't back up, and 2, the statement that you're making in the first place, you're failing to acknowledge that your tweet is meant to garner a reaction, and people reacted. They didn't react in the way you wanted. Too bad, so sad, but you got a reaction, and you can't be surprised by that. And simply saying, oh, men are taking issue, they shouldn't be taking issue. It's like, are you retarded? Are you dumb? Do you expect people not to say anything? It's like, oh, wait, no. Can people only say something if they glaze in you? If they suck in your dick like you just said?
Never a woman. I don't get it. Like, I'm not saying all men are bad people, but somehow it's always some, like, incel guy who...
Do you see? My point. My point is being proven for me. I can be drinking my water, and they will prove my point.
Was pissed at me, and never a woman. I don't really understand. And I think the most ironic part is when so many men are like, oh my god, you will never, like, you will always be a virgin, blah, 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 in my comment section. Like, the craziest projections ever. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, that is, I guarantee you have, like, it's so insane. It's so fucking crazy, the projections that they're throwing out there for me. I cannot even... I cannot even, simply put. But yeah, I don't know. It's really ridiculous. And it's also really saddening and funny, sadly. There are a lot of people in the comment sections and men who have messaged me as well, who said, like, who've called me, like, really awful names because they think I'm a woman. Like, some of them think I'm a woman, and it's really funny because they're just, like, calling me all of these terrible things and, like, literally going, oh my god, you're a woman. And it's like, oh, you're some sort of, like, weird, I don't know, I don't even know what they're fucking saying. They have, like, lingo they have, like, 4chan lingo that I don't.
I find this I find this absolutely ridiculous. You want to talk about it, but then you can't actually talk about it, and then you say you don't understand what they're saying, but somehow you're offended. Which one is it? Either you understand what they're saying to the point that you can feel offended, or you don't understand what they're saying and you just decided to be offended. Which one is it?
Really understand, but like they literally are just like they some of them think that I'm an actual woman and are like taunting me and saying like, oh blah blah blah, this shit. Like I don't know, guys. So listen, you know what's really funny? I think that this shows that I think it was really interesting to be mocked as a woman for the very first time, which is kind of crazy. Like I feel now more empathetically and deeply connected to you because
Oh my god. Can I throw myself off a cliff? Please? I feel more empathetically connected to you. Here's the thing. We have Nora Vincent, a lesbian journalist, who decided she was going to reveal to the world how easy men have it. And she was going to spend 2 years disguised as a man to do this. She only managed 18 months and she came out of it hating women. She was clinically depressed. She later ended up seeking medically assisted suicide due to the fact that she was so depressed after all of that. If a lesbian decides to be a man and comes out of it depressed and hating women, there's a reason for that. And so him saying, I feel more empathetically connected to you, it's like, okay. Hope you don't Nora Vincent yourself. Because if anyone knows how women are, it's like they are abominations living amongst us. It's like their social interactions are horrid, their personalities are worse. And the thing is, I have a female majority family. I have like front row seats to the worst aspects of the fairer sex. And it makes me grateful to be gay. Because sometimes I'm like, you know what? I don't need to subject myself to this in order to get pussy.
what guy ever gets mocked as a woman, you know? And now it's finally happening where guys are.
What guy gets mocked as acted for a woman? Oh my gosh. Gay men? Feminine men? I've literally seen women mock men for being too feminine. You can go on TikTok and go and prove this. You can go on Twitter and find tweets about this. I'm trying to understand how he can say this when there's a lot of evidence disproving his claim. It's like, what man gets insulted for being like a woman? A lot of men do.
Are kind of in my DMs and go off queen and in my comments just saying like, you know, mocking me and calling me a woman and saying really nasty shit, to be honest with you. Like, oh my god, your breasts are saggy, or you're fucking like, you're, you know, you fucking hate men, I hope. Like really, I can't even say this shit.
Your breasts are saggy. How? Oh my gosh, your breasts are saggy. I could come up with a better insult. Oh, your breasts are hanging low. It's like, okay, that happens to women, unfortunately. It's like, unless they get breast implants or they're blessed genetically, it's gonna sag, it's gonna droop. At some point, they might even need to just throw it over their shoulders.
That they're saying, because it's terrible. It's also very triggering. It's just really bad. Like, you can imagine the kind of shit that like a really angry guy would say to women. I'm not even fucking kidding. Like, it's ridiculous, and some of it is just so stupid and uncalled for. But yeah, I don't know. And the community note, I don't even know where to start with the community note. The community note is obviously very stupid, and it was made by people. So there was like a comment section chain, I don't know, a while back, that was saying we should community note Kyrio so that he doesn't earn any money from the tweet. So they came up with the most bullshit community note ever, because they were like, now you won't make your $3.70 from the tweet. Take that. Yeah, I bet that's really going to hurt you. Your $3.70, we're going to strip that right away. We're going to take that from your hands. And I was like, oh no, by $3.70. Whatever shall I do without my $3.70? So yeah, the community noted me. If you notice, the community note is incredibly nonsensical. Like, it's so stupid. It's like, this is engagement baiting. It's really dumb, because what tweet on Twitter isn't engagement baiting? Like, if you're a content creator, you're engagement baiting. Like, is there a community note on everybody's tweet? When you say I'm going live, is that engagement baiting? Or if you do like, it's just so stupid. Like, it's really, really so stupid. So you guys can vote on the community note to have it removed.
So here's my thing. So we admitted that as content creators, we're engagement baiting. If you go in live, he's asking, is it engagement baiting? I'd say no. However, here's the thing. The particular tweet that he made, that is engagement baiting. We've seen multiple accounts make very outrageous statements in order to gain traction and attention. And the thing is, he's verified. as a verified account, he's eligible for money, for monetization. Due to the fact that he's eligible for monetization, anything he tweets would be placed under a microscope. And in this case, it was placed under a microscope, and it definitely is the case. If you weren't engagement baiting, you wouldn't have made the tweet where you say, in 2026, I will continue to rage bait men more. You literally admit in your own tweets that you were doing this to rage bait men, that you were doing this for attention. Now you were called out in a community post for being an attention whore, and you're like, I'm not an attention whore. Aren't all of these other people attention whores? If we're all attention whores, then everyone should be noted for their whoring. And it's like, okay, fine. We can say everyone's an attention whore. Congratulations, you're a content creator. Let's move on.
But at this point, I don't really fucking care because I wear it like a badge of honor. To be real with you, to me, it's a really cool badge of honor to have my little community note. And they can take their $3.70 or however much dog shit money they were going to pay me for the tweet and shove it. I don't care. I wear the community note like a badge of honor for you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's crazy. It is an insane situation, and obviously, well, I have more to say about it. But obviously, a lot of people have responded. A lot of very interesting and choice content creators have responded. And it's become a shit show. Like if you guys look at the replies, there have been multiple content creators, multiple times my size, like 3, 4, 5 times my size, basically quote retweeting it and sending their fan bases to attack mine. And it's been pretty effective for the most part. Like their quote retweets have garnered thousands of likes as well, and they've taken to my DMs to attack me, or they've taken to other places to attack me as well. Like people on Instagram have gone on there, or they've replied to other posts and stuff like that. But what can you do? It just comes with the territory, really. And I feel bad for them more than anything, really. It is what it is. It comes with the territory. I still got it. Who else can rage bait to a level that I can? I genuinely don't know anybody who has rage baited in the VTubing scene in such a...
Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? I can just sit here, have the video play, and my points will be made for me.
Dramatic fashion where it has become so deeply, I don't know, like I think we've reached unprecedented levels of rage bait. This should be a record. But yeah, basically be careful. Again, I really appreciate my community for having my back. It means a lot, but I always knew that you guys would. This was very nonsensical, and I feel proud of you for being so mature to learn when to back off. I know some of you guys wanted to respond to some of these people, but listen to me, you are going to get dogpiled by very unsavory comments and by unsavory people who...
Unsavory people, I would believe you're the unsavory character here, my dear Kyrio. You've proven yourself to be unsavory. Once again, I'd like to invoke the tweet of yesteryear, December 16th, 2025, where Kyrio said, people on this site are getting way too comfy with being unkind. Would you not be a hypocrite? You would. Yes, you would. So, I would say the hypocrite is the unsavory person here, and not the people that took issue with you.
I have nothing left to lose. You have something left to lose, You have your dignity, you're a decent person, you're kind, you stand for something that's right.
Dignity, decency, stand for something that's right. Wow. I would say he does not tick the box for any of these. How unfortunate.
So don't do that. Don't put yourself in harm's way for me. But I really do appreciate the sentiment, and I do appreciate you wanting to do something like that for me, and to want to defend your Oshi. But it's not something that you should do. You don't have to worry. I got it. You can do what you want and tweet in your own circles where nobody will find you, but keep yourself safe first and foremost. The comments I got were a lot tamer than I expected. I think it's just because once they get called out for their bullshit, sometimes they just have no idea how to respond. You know what I mean? Like these incels really have no other way to respond but insert slur, insert slur, insert slur.
And here's my thing. It's like what man worth his manhood is going to use the word incel? I've seen so many men who use the word incel prove themselves to not be men of worth. You are using, basically, the inability for these men to have sex as some kind of gotcha. It's like, oh, they couldn't get any action, and so because of that, they're not worth any sort of like recognition or acknowledgement. Like, if men are misogynistic, that's fine. They could be getting pussy. If men don't like women, they could still be getting pussy. So they wouldn't be an incel. But the thing is, he's most likely using insult the way women do, which I can see why a lot of people assumed he had a cunt due to how cunt he is acting. A lot of women use the word insult as an insult to men, whether they are married, single, getting play, or not, they will invoke that word due to the fact that they see it as a way to offend men. It's basically how women will accuse a man of being gay if he's not interested in them. It's basically just that, a way to insult them. And so he's most likely using it in that very same fashion, and it is pathetic. Because, alright, if these men that are taking issue with you don't get play, you're simply saying that the only way for you to be a man is if you're fucking woman. So you've reduced not only yourself as only being worth recognition once you put it inside a bitch, you're now also saying that women are no better than sex objects. And given how much of a male feminist you act like, I don't think you'd want that to be the assumption that people make about your statements.
Slur, die, insert slur, you're stupid, insert slur. Like, there's just no other way. Like, if they try and be, they can't be sensible. There's nothing, like, there's no sense in what they're saying a lot of the times.
There's no sense in what they're saying. I think I've been quite sensible. I think I've been logically coherent. I don't think I've said anything that could be construed into slur, slur, die, slur, slur, kill yourself, slur, 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 slur. I don't think I've done anything like that, but go off, I suppose, Kyrio.
And, you know, you don't even know if you're arguing with a minor is an issue. Like, you have no clue. You might be arguing with someone who's like 17, 16, 18, 19, you know, a really fucking stupid kid who's just following their favorite content creator. You know what I mean? You could genuinely be arguing with someone fucking 16 or 17. Like, don't waste your time, Chan. Like, we're both our time is worth more than that, you know? Like, you are worth more than that. I truly believe that your time is worth more than that. You could literally be doing, I don't know, like cleaning shit off of your lawn, and it would be more productive than replying to idiots like that. Just let them be. Some of them might be very young, so let it be. But yeah, literally, as I started this tweet, like other big accounts are responding to me. I'm not gonna lie. Other huge accounts are responding to me. I got like accounts with 500,000, 600,000. There are videos out there of me already, like with like 50.
Oh my gosh! Look, I wanted those videos.
60,000, 80,000 views. It's fucking nuts. People are going crazy. But what can you do? You just got to take it on the chin and just keep going. I gained like 20 followers. I don't really know what, like over 1 million followers, like basically people with over 1 million. I don't really, like they did not succeed. Like it's been a ridiculous attempt and something really stupid. So I don't really know what they're really after. But yeah, it is very dumb. It's not even like a nuanced thing to talk about, you know? It's objectively very stupid. And I'm not gonna lie, like this just proves how fragile some men can be, you know? Again, not all men, but somehow always a fucking fragile ass ego man.
My points get made for me. I honestly could have just sat here and said nothing. I could have had an opening statement. We could have watched the video without me interjecting, and my point would have been made. Once again, we circle back to, it's not all men, but it's always a man. The thing is this, I know often like women make this point or try to make this point, and let's say it's not all men, but it's always a man. If I had to play the game of race, religion, ethnicity, etc., we would say it's particular men. And in this case, the reason why a lot of men took issue with you, Kyrio, is due to the fact that I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You made an outrageous statement, you were looking for attention, and you got attention, but not the kind of attention that you wanted. And so, you took offense, as you should, for acting like a bitch. And you can insult every single person that criticizes you. It does not change the fact that you were attention whoring. And you can wear the whore's uniform, and you might not be a whore, but people will treat you as such. And you deserve to be mocked and ridiculed for acting like every dime a dozen content creator that wants to hop to the defense of women at any opportunity and degrade men at the same rate. You did not make a tweet that did not justify the kind of reception you got. And even in this video, this clip from your stream, You are proving that the people that took issue with you are right to take issue with you. At no point did you reconsider what you said. At no point did you seem to be remorseful. You decided to double down. No, I would even say triple down, given the fact that you made a tweet where you said you will continue to rage bait men even more. At what point do I take what you say here as you attempting to be a kind, decent person? You're not decent. You have no dignity. You're not standing up for what's right or moral. You are the opposite of everything that you said in this video. And you want to act high and mighty, which is ridiculous. And the other thing is, obviously, at the end of the day, you have other male VTubers that come to your defense and decide they're gonna hop in with you. And I believe, is he even a VTuber? He's certainly something. He called himself Craven. And he says, if you're a man and respect women and their boundaries, you should have no problem with this statement or any iteration of it. With the amount of stories I hear from friends about the disgusting stuff they've dealt with from men, especially in this space, this shouldn't be controversial, and if it is to you, you should fix that. Now I'll say this. If you have friends that are telling you about all these awful men, why don't you expose them? Why don't you report them? Keeping it to yourself worsens the problem, if the problem even exists. Because we saw around the time with Bao's tweet, a lot of people came forward saying, oh no, awful men interact with us. Meanwhile, it's cases of entertaining these awful men or branding yourself in a way that gets certain attention that you don't want. It's like Tiger saying, oh, I don't want to be treated like a piece of meat. Then the same week, when he makes this statement, he posts a picture of himself in cosplay and then says, if this gets enough likes, I'll show panties, then shows panties. You cannot do certain kinds of content, interact with social media in certain ways, and then be surprised by the reception you get. You are asking for it. And I'm tired of grown ass adults, men and women, acting like children. They can't seem to understand consequences and actions. Your actions will beget certain consequences. That is why, Kyrio, people are reacting to you in a certain way, because you decided to act like a bitch and people are now treating you like a bitch. It's 1 + 1 = 2. If you can't seem to understand that, or if you do understand that and you want to be disingenuous about it, saying, oh no, I don't understand why people are acting like this, then all I have to say to you is, you're just not a good person. You're just a horrible attention whore, and maybe you should change the way you do things. That would be my advice to you. But let's finish this off and react to the last little bit, because maybe, just maybe, he'll say something worth my time.
Man who has the emotional maturity and intelligence of a goddamn peanut, who is just always pissed at me for some reason. People ask me why don't you have more guy friends? This is why I don't have more guy friends. I stick to the guy friends I do have, and I do have a decent amount, but some of them are just so stupid, bro. I literally cannot be friends with so many men. They have zero emotional intelligence, and I'm tired.
You see. Oh my gosh, I do love this. I do love this. Where every single time I go on a little bit of a rant, and then I have him speak, and then he justifies everything I say. Oh, I don't have, people ask me why I don't have more male friends. I don't have more male friends because they're not emotionally intelligent. I think you'd fail any sort of test on emotional intelligence, given how you're acting right here. You would be as bad as those men you're criticizing. So maybe the reason why you don't have more male friends is because you act like too much of a fucking bitch, and they don't want to put up with you. Maybe that's...
For all my life, I'm so tired of being okay with men who are just so emotionally constipated, who have to take an emotional shit for 15 years and choose to hold that shit in and be I'm so strong. Just let it out, bro. What the fuck is your problem? But yeah, I don't know. That's how I feel, and I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me.
After all of this, I can say one, not a fan of doing reactions. Uh, this took much longer than I was hoping it would take. And so we find ourselves here now. And I'll say this throughout this entire video, his and mine, if there's one thing that I would say you and I can take away from this, is the fact that people like Kyrio will often act as if they're your moral superiors, that they're better than you, and everything that they do cannot be judged, and it's all done with the right intentions. The problem is, at the end of the day, is that it certainly doesn't matter. If you are going to try and build a career off of hating men, you are not a good person. Because at the end of the day, the mere fact that you believe that it's okay to hate someone or someone's because everyone else is doing it, you prove that one, you have no independent thought. You will always go with the group. If the consensus says we should murder everyone, you'll probably be there like, yes, we should. Because it's people that I don't like and I find unsavory. You're no better than the people that you criticize. You are no better than the people you think should be beneath you. You are far likely worse than them. And you've proven that to be the case, Kyrio. And so I'll just end things here because I don't think I should have anything more to say about you because you're just not worth it. After all of this, if I could go back in time and not do this video, I wouldn't do it because frankly, you said nothing worth substance. All you said was dime a dozen talking points that I've heard so many times from so many other female and male content creators. If I had to be like, oh, Kyrio has his own thoughts and opinions, I'd be like, no, he just parrots whatever's popular. But I'll say this to all of you. Thanks for stopping by, and always remember, I'm a spell away.